what percentage, you mentioned you're seeing clients that have not historically been in TV moving to television. Is that the majority for any of you guys? Are you mostly working with non-TV spenders that are coming into television, or are you mostly taking big TV spenders that are refining how they use television, moving down the funnel and making it more active? Tracy, what?
I wish it was the former,
okay.
But it is the latter. So there is a huge, huge market potential. Like, we haven't even scratched the surface of the one I really like to talk about is direct mail. I mean, there's just huge direct mail budgets at $1,000 CPM that can convert to sight, sound, and motion, which has potentially a better impact in building a brand and make the connection between those two and be able to synchronize a video message with a mail drop or a catalog drop. It seems to be a way that it's a very untapped market, if you ask me. But right now, our focus is around traditional television advertisers and making their ad dollars, for the most part, I'm speaking generally. I mean, there's a few examples in there, new to TV money, but for the most part, it's traditional advertisers.
It's definitely the latter, but we all work for big agencies, so you're going to expect that to some degree. What we are seeing, though, is although we're taking these big advertisers, helping them refine their segments and reduce their waste through addressability, we're showing that it works. Here's how much you spent on an addressable campaign. Here's how many cars you sold. Here's how much you spent. Here's how many cans of your competitor's soup you sold. So that it's looking at a chief marketing officer and explaining to he or she what the exact return on ad spend is. That's something you've never heard in television. Don't forget, television is TV on, selling stuff, TV off, not selling stuff, or at best a model, an econometric model that takes so much time to build and refine.
Yeah.
But I think there's also, addressable TV, before it actually can scale and can actually use it as a main priority for some of these clients, they work in tandem. And so, we use the word test a lot today, and there are a lot of the clients, especially, we all work at the big agencies, who are coming in to test this, test that. The goal is to really prove it out on the back end, know what you're testing, understanding the measurement, but being able to explain it in layman terms that can apply back to the other items on their media mix. And maybe that is traditional TV, or maybe that's digital, or it's radio, or it's direct mail, or if it's a DR company, how it can actually affect the schedule so that they can become more and more precise with this traditional budget that they still may need, and also still plays a huge role in the foundation of a media plan.
Okay, great. So how does this continue to evolve, right? So one of the conversations that often comes up as we have these discussions around panels is, hey, everyone wants more households to be addressable. I think we get that, and that will continue to grow. But as we were talking earlier, Mike, there's plenty of households that are addressable today on a household, on a per household basis. So what are the other innovations, maybe just beyond just the want for more scale? Tracy, you brought up a lot of stuff. Maybe we'll start with you. You mentioned different types of data sets, different types of ad units. What are you most bullish on? What do you care most about in terms of an innovation that's going to help the addressable marketplace continue to grow?
Yeah, I'm most excited about smart TVs right now, so we're really rolling up our sleeves to understand what the potential of smart TVs is. So the OEMs have really, really thin margins at selling television sets. And so if you're only making 1%, selling a Vizio, you got to find another way to make money, right? And so one of the ways Vizio in particular is interesting is that they have collected a lot of the ACR data. So it's like a set-top box, but bigger. It's got a bigger aperture. So it's not just the television programming that Comcast brings you. It is Netflix and all the gaming, and so it is a much bigger pie. So maybe what the Comcast is bringing is 60% of what a TV is actually viewing. And so we would like to be able to understand that all, and then I believe there will be advertising opportunities in all of those. So maybe one day Netflix will have ads, right? I mean, there's only, how far can you go with this model at the price point? We'll see. But it would be interesting to know that, and Vizio at scale and geography is doing that, roughly 10 million homes, and that I think is super interesting. And then you have other players in smart TV that are looking at addressability and ad replacement, and I love the operators, but I have long wanted to have more data, more granular data to make television more precise, and so it is a way around the box and the data and the OEMs are more willing to give it and license it and do some interesting things with it. I mean, it doesn't come without flaws, but it's a really interesting, exciting area to explore.
Okay. Mike, what about you?
A little shorter of an answer. Scale's coming, right? Smart TVs, the inclusion of the charter union, that's
awesome.
going to bring scale. But nobody has the right to piss and moan about scale until that advertiser has found every one of their segment within AT&T, Dish, Comcast, and Cablevision. If they haven't utilized the existing systems to its fullest potential yet, you shouldn't be over here complaining there's not scale. And that happens way too much.
Yeah, I don't want to agree with him, but that's true.
Which is why I was, so but beyond scale then, right? So Mike, but what else? I mean, or are you comfortable with the ecosystem as it exists?
So, well, for yes and no. So the ecosystem right now is clunky, it's disjointed. You know, advanced television has always been a selfish business. Every system doing it their own way, with their own technology, with their own vision, you know. That doesn't work. That's preventing it from moving forward because it's preventing general media practitioners from executing it seamlessly.
It's keeping us
preventing
employed.
Advertisers
Right here.
from doing it. So yes, if it was easier, I believe in centralization. So if it was centralized, that would make it much easier. Flip side to that is all the confusion keeps me in business, so
right.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, so
But that would make it easier. If you could execute an addressable television campaign similar to the way you execute an addressable digital campaign, which you just call an audience-based buy, makes it easy.
as you said earlier, you'd like to be 6 feet tall. Is this another one of those things? You'd like this to happen, but it's not actually going to happen?
This is going to happen. This will happen.
Why?
It will
How
take time.
or why?
When? How about when?
When is it going to happen? Okay, when is it going to happen?
Oh, geez, that was like not in my career, probably.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
not tomorrow.
Not where like all of the television impressions are bought and sold on one system. No.
Here's what I think. Here's what I'll happen. If it, once each individual system sells out their inventory, once it's all gone and the 2 minutes per hour are gone, then they're going to need more inventory. That's going to force them to create some type of relationship, some type of deal with the national networks. Once that happens, there's no way everyone's going to be able to operate in these fiefdoms, in these silos. So I think, my own personal prediction, within 3 years.
3 years.
I do. 3 years for a unionized approach, not necessarily 3 years for the national television networks representing it.
Automated in all one system that's easy to buy in 3 years?
Automated in one system that is buyable in 3 years. Easy.
So the good news is you guys disagree again.
3
so that's
years,
more fun.
that's,
Yeah. Okay. What, Amy, weigh in. What do you mean, both, whether you agree or disagree on this or the other innovations that you're kind of looking for in this space?
I think it's the technology. I think data is going to constantly grow. I think we're using more and more first-party data, so that's amazing. So it's always going to be there. We're partnering with clients to build and grow their own data and understand what they should be looking at and collecting, and of course, always reminding them about the compliance that's needed and really hand-holding them from that portion on, and I think that will remain the same. The technology, from a standpoint of the day-to-day usage of the space, it's got to change.
Are you hopeful of an integrated system as Mike has expounded?
I would love an integrated system
3
like
years?
that.
How realistic?
I don't think it's going to be in 3 years because we're still in a space of piecing it together, and I think everybody wants it to work more electronically and more fluid, and I think that would allow us to help the business aspect of the space for the buyers, the data, the sellers, everybody, but we have a lot of work to do.
Yeah. In that discussion too is very much a set-top box driven discussion, right? And we started this discussion saying so much of what you guys I know think about is precision marketing to kind of sum it up across any device and any screen, right? But that system that you're talking about for this integrated system is very much about the set-top box driven linear addressable world. Let's see, however that comes together or doesn't in time. The other thing is we're still talking about set-top boxes. We're not talking about digital distribution points as being integrated, right? Why is that still hard?
So it's hard because the two mediums are still very siloed, both in the distribution methodology and in the way they're practiced. So you walk to an advertiser, you walk to an agency, and there could very well be different groups handling this type of advertising, this type of targeting on those various different screens. So I think that is less of a technological issue and more of a practical, logistical
Or is
issue.
it a measurement issue? I mean,
Yeah, that was where I was thinking. I think, you know, again, I'm a huge believer in the power of what the data can do to tell, you know, where precision lies. And I think the operators that have control over the set-top box data have done themselves a disservice by not allowing that to be better used by agencies and people who can allocate and plan. Because every time I am able to stitch together the television data with the help of a safe haven like Experian or Axiom and bring together the digital data to try and do multi-touch attribution, I feel like TV is getting the short end of the stick. The money moved too far and it needs to move back. And the only way it's going to move back is with proof, right? And so they sit on the data that would bring the money back to television, and then when it comes back to television, to be able to place it more precisely, because they also have that technology. So I mean, I'm a broken record on this subject, but you know, every proof point that I see, and I'm really excited by data. We launched a product about a year ago called Maps TV, because we were interested in combining location-aware data with addressable data to get up from the bottom of the funnel to, let's say for auto, you actually visited the showroom, not you just bought the car. So that location data that you're being able to collect now off of mobile devices can help us, and partners like Experian and Axiom can help us onboard it in a privacy-sensitive manner, one-to-one, to really show, you know, that advertising can do more than sell a car, it can drive you to the showroom. So I think that's really exciting. I'm really proud that we actually won a Tracy Swedlow Product of the Year award on that one, you know. So I think that's just scratching the surface of the really cool data that's out there that we could bring to make advertising work harder. But, you know, the keys to the kingdom, you know, sit in the set-top box, and if they're not going to do it, the smart TV.
Yeah.